and welcome to How Do You Drew?
This is a Drew Barrymore podcast brought to you by Drewsm.com.
And sponsored by our friends at Positive Medium.
I'm Anne.
And I'm Ashley.
Welcome back.
Thanks for hanging with us, guys. We took another week off. It just had to happen. It's not our favorite thing to do. Trust us.
We don't, you know what? We don't know anyone anything. I'm sorry. We love you.
True.
We love you. It was about self-care, about our lives. You know, this is like, we'll always be here. It just, you know, we're hoping this is the last time we have to skip for a while.
Yeah, we don't see any reason that we shouldn't be able to stay on track from now on. So
thanks for coming back. Jinx.
Jinx.
Episode 36. Here we go. We are doing a fun Drewsflash this week because as it happens, when 2 weeks go by, lots of little stuff happens. So here we are.
Lots. Okay. So let's just jump into it. We got some follow-ups on previous episodes.
Yep.
So of course, as predicted, as soon as we finished last week's episode or 2 weeks ago, which was our favorite performances of Drew, I did exactly what I knew I was going to do and thought of one of my favorites that I probably would have included. And that would be Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. I love Drew's performance in that movie because there's like a lot of range. It really realistically goes through a lot of time that feels like she changes throughout the years. She's got like some really fun, like silly, funny moments, but then like really good dramatic stuff. I think some of her best dramatic work, in my opinion.
Okay, shoot. A couple little factoids came to mind about that, and now I've already lost them. Okay, I remembered. When you and I saw Confessions of a Dangerous Mind in the movie theater, who did we run into?
I know who was sitting behind us in the theater. Big G. What's up?
Yes, and we also, like, you remembered to say, hey, they also play Scrabble in this movie like they do in Charlie's Angels.
I think actually he pointed it out. I remember him saying it was so fun to see Drew and Sam up there playing Scrabble again.
Yes, that was so cute.
Cool.
And then the one other thing I wanted to say, that's a little like tidbit about the filming of Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, is that George Clooney, to make Drew laugh in the wedding scene when they're in the limo. I mean, we might mention this in a future episode, but it's just fun. He said over the little mic in her ear, "Corn in my duty," and then Drew just like cracked up. So anyway,
like a very genuine.
One last thing is I totally associate Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, specifically Drew in it, with you. So I didn't think about it, but I know you love it. Like I feel like we've watched it together at least a couple times.
Definitely.
And that there's this kind of feeling. She's totally amazing in it. Like I forgot about it too. So
I know. I don't know how that happened. I feel so dumb, but all right,
we're giving it special space there now. So love for her character's name is Penny, right?
Yeah.
Penny. And I've always loved the name Penny. So okay, so I love that you remembered, this close to our episode.
Too late, but whatever. Let's talk about some of our listeners' favorite performances, because we did put a call out for you guys to tell us what would you have put on your lists. I was a little surprised by the most popular one was Charlie's Angels.
Yes, and I was curious if people were referring to like which specific of the Charlie's Angels films, because only one person said specifically Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, and the rest just said Charlie's Angels. So I'm like, how many meant to? Either way, it was the most popular. I guess I'm not too surprised, just based on like probably the age of most of the fans.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
But, just think of like having that empowerment for women like come out, whether it's Charlie's Angels the first or Full Throttle. But I like that. And then a couple other popular ones were Wedding Singer and Mad Love. No big surprise there.
Yeah, no surprises. Then we had lots of other like, those all make sense, or, they were on our list or whatever.
Yep.
We had one person mention The Stand-In, which we are going to talk about at some point when Anne finally watches it.
Yep. But I was like, really? That's not what I've heard. And then someone said Santa Clarita Diet, which I thought was fun. And then someone else said Best Coast, which I didn't know if they were joking, but also a fun response.
It was Tony. It was Tony Crago.
Oh, perfect. Tony.
Yeah. I love it.
That's great.
Another follow-up to our tattoo episode. Drew had Dove Cameron on the show, and Drew confirmed that her first tattoo was at 13, which is what we reported. And I remember even after that still being like, is that true?
Yeah.
But yeah, she confirmed it. And she said that the guy who did it was named Shock.
Which is so perfect.
Yeah, I don't remember if we knew that or not.
And was it the flowers?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's weird. In the clip, she starts to say it was supposed to
The
be
moon.
she says it was supposed to be a blue, and then she gets cut off.
Yeah.
But the moon
is like 16 or something, right?
Yeah, and I should have gone back and looked at our notes, but I think that she had a story about like being with a friend and walking by a tattoo parlor and like spur of the moment doing it.
But yes, I love that she brought it up because they were like saying like no one else gets it, like having a tattoo when you're that young. It was a cute clip.
It was really cute.
But I mean, of course we love when things come up that we've already said and they're confirmed and we get a little more like, did we know about the shock name?
I don't remember. I was going to go look at our notes from that episode and then I forgot. But if you guys want to listen to that and get more details, it's episode 12. It's one of our most popular episodes. It's a good Unfortunately, she's gotten a new one since we recorded it. So it's a little incomplete. I did in the show notes. I put a little note. So like if anyone reads that on Spotify or whatever, they'll know that we know there's a new one.
Maybe at one point we'll do like for certain episodes, like so much new stuff has happened. Like when Drew gets 12 more tattoos, we'll have to do an amended episode.
Yeah. Okay. Good idea.
Tattoos part 2.
Okay. And then there's another follow-up to another episode. So we did our In Style 1999 magazine. Mm-hmm. One of our favorite factoids from that article was that Drew would write D. Barrymore inside every book once she finished it.
Yeah.
And she just said on the show on Drew's News that she does that still. So I thought that was so exciting.
Like 24 years later, let's confirm that she's still a consistent and incredibly like nostalgic person. Like I love it.
And I love Ross actually said like, oh, if you ever donate a book and somebody finds it, I was like, that's what we said. We want to find one.
Ross, you're gonna have to start like sending us stuff.
Yeah,
like
Ross, I feel like he's ready to do that.
I think he understands the type of stuff that a Drewsium would have. He should know we exist now.
He does seem to. Let's hope so.
Okay, so I like this last little bit you put in here.
Yeah, so I put this in here because we were just talking about, number one, Drew having auditioned for the movie Annie when she was little. And then we've also had discussed like way long ago how she had auditioned for Encino. Well, she said Brendan Fraser movies and we were guessing Encino Man.
Yes.
And she did actually say by name. Encino Man was one of them. We already knew about Beetlejuice and Great Balls of Fire. And funnily enough, there's like 3 other Winona Ryder roles that she auditioned for as well. So there's a whole thing in Movie Line 1992, which, you know what, I owe Brian a scan of that one. He wants to read it. We'll get to that one maybe one day. She's a little outspoken about things like this. And she's pretty bitter about the Winona Ryder thing in that article.
Yeah.
But anyway, back on track.
Yep.
And then 2 others that I'd never heard of her mentioning having auditioned for. One was My Stepmother is an Alien. And then the other is the show My Two Dads. So pretty cool to like get more information on that stuff. What could have been.
Yeah, totally. I wonder if she would have played the role that Allison Hannigan played.
I would imagine it must be, right?
So interesting.
And it's so funny to imagine her on My Two Dads, like a sitcom in the late 80s, I think, or early 90s. Wow.
Totally. Her career would have been totally different.
Oh man. That was definitely a good thing. She didn't get that.
Yeah. I mean, every time one of these like almost things comes up, I'm like, no, obviously we know the reality we know, but like there are things that like, that doesn't seem right. you know, like it's probably good.
That would have really changed things.
Yes. Okay. So I'm ready to hear what Drew loved over the last 2 weeks. Looks like you've got quite a list here.
It's a lot. And I'm sure there's more. Like this is just what I was able to watch, you know?
Yes. But I love it. I'm ready.
I love love.
Okay. Let's get into it. Drew loves the texture of cucumbers. Illegal tattooing, as referenced above.
Yes.
The smell of onions, because it reminds her of the smell of a boyfriend's t-shirt.
That's strange.
And to follow up on that, she also likes funk, which means the smell of like on a boyfriend's t-shirt. She basically said she wants to get all up in the armpits.
All right. I mean, I love that. I mean, I love intimacy that, you know, even the stuff that someone else might consider gross. I love it.
I feel like she's been saying that since she was with Eric. That's who I always associate that with. So it's a long time love of hers.
That's great.
Okay. She also loves an edible flower.
Me too.
Lemon, which maybe we had lemon juice before, but I don't think we ever had lemon. So I'm including it.
You and I love some citrus. So
love. Breakfast for dinner. And she said that was introduced to her by Steven Spielberg. Blew her mind one night. I know. An independent bookstore. Aww. Good one.
I love that because we visited a bookstore that she had been photographed at in LA once.
Book Soup. Or are you thinking of a different
one? The other one.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called, but
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. A kick in her food and a mocktail with spice in it. Those go together. Some spice. Hoisin sauce, which I don't know if I've ever had, but
I think hoisin sauce has fish in it. Oh, okay. So you might not have, but I have had it in things, and it's it's like kind of like a thing that's really often in Chinese food.
Yeah, it looked good. And then last two things, also food related. She loves a cheese blintz and shallots.
I've developed a love of shallots over the last couple of years too.
Super yummy.
Ooh.
So lots of love, Drew.
Yes. Yes, very fun. Okay, so did you pull out a Drewism for this week?
Oh, someone's picking up, those cool little isms that we do.
It doesn't have quite as much of a visual as some of her other ones, but I thought this was funny because they were talking about tipping on the show. Okay. And Ross asked, is she a good tipper? And Drew said, I fancy myself like Rihanna at a strip club back in the day. And then she did the dollar thing with her hands. It made me laugh. So I was like, good enough.
It does work with the visual in a certain sense, because even though you're describing the thing with your hands, I'm still
you still know what it looks like.
Yeah. She's taking an image that exists and then using it as a simile, right?
You're right. It counts.
It's really fun. Yes. Okay. So now what do we have for this week in Drew history?
All right. So let's go back. First of all, by the way, I think I started looking for a March date. I'm not even going to lie. But March and May always confuse me. That's a weird mental thing I have. Anyway.
I always have to count the months when I write down a number. Oh, so I always have to go January, February, March, April, May. It's 5.
I don't have to do that.
For April and May, for some reason, I can't remember if they're 4 or 5, which...
Interesting.
It is what it is. It's like the word Wednesday. I have to say Wednesday. It's
Okay, so May 19th, 1993. And I mostly picked this one for the fashion. Okay. So Drew attended the premiere of the movie Sliver. Okay. That was a Sharon Stone movie. That's the only reason I could see maybe she went, because Sharon came to Poison Ivy and they knew each other from Irreconcilable Differences. No idea. Yes. That's my guess. And Drew attended that with photographer Matthew Ralston. And I know you wanted to say some stuff about that.
Okay. So this is, I think every time Matthew Ralston comes up, I think that he's the photographer for guests. And I always mess that up. So I just wanted to make it super clear. We've got the data to back this up. So he's not the guest photographer. You knew that. I did not know that.
That's Wayne Mazer.
Yes. And Matthew Ralston had photographed Drew at least for Interview 1991, Entertainment Weekly 1992, 17 1993, and then later had done YM 94 and In Style 2000. So I think that's just a handful of them. But this is somebody who photographed her a few times before this event and a few times after. So it's kind of neat that there was this continuing relationship.
Yeah. And some of my favorite, those are such great, all Interview of those 91, are such good ones.
Yeah. Oh. And 1793 is such a special one.
That one is special. Yeah. We'll have to get into that one.
Yeah. That would be fun. Yeah.
So let's talk about Drew's look. So she was wearing a long jean jacket, these blue round sort of John Lennon style sunglasses, which is the only time she's ever worn those, I think. And then she had that cute Mickey Mouse bag that always stands out as a memory for me.
Totally.
You made some other notes about her look.
Yep. So I wrote down the kind of brownish 90s lipstick, because she was kind of into this for a few years, to the point where when I saw the pictures, I was like, is this 95?
It has 95 vibes.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. And then she also has her tiny eyebrows, which I kind of forgot that it was that early that she had them thin, 93.
Yeah.
And then she's wearing a choker, a flower choker that I'm assuming is a hemp necklace, because you and I had ones just like this. So it
definitely beaded.
Yes. But the look is filled with all kinds of tidbits. The Mickey Mouse backpack, it has such a middle school sought after type of accessory for me.
That's cool.
Everyone had little backpacks in those.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
So, yeah, it's a great look, classic.
We'll include pictures on the episode page if you guys, for some reason, don't know what we're talking about. But I bet as soon as you think of the sunglasses and the Mickey Mouse bag, you guys are like, oh, yep, I remember that.
Absolutely. Yep. And I forget what premiere it's for. So it's kind of fun to have all these extra tidbits.
Yeah.
Howdy, Drewbies. We want to tell you about our sponsor, Positive Medium. We've actually been clients of theirs for at least 10 years, and they take care of all of our website needs for thedrewsm.com.
They offer custom web design and professional coding, search engine optimization, marketing, and hosting. So we've been hosted by them, but we've also been able to take advantage of a lot of their expertise in these other areas as well.
Absolutely. So customer service is the biggest draw for us with this company. They have saved our site literally from obliteration quite a few times. But then they also help us with minor issues in just like literally a matter of minutes. So if we have like a coding question or just like something on the back end we can't figure out, we reach out to them and we get an answer back and the issue is solved within moments.
We're so excited that Positive Medium is allowing us to offer our listeners 25% off managed WordPress hosting plans using our promo code DREW, D-R-E-W, of course. And if you want to take advantage of this, visit positivemedium.com. We really, really vouch for these people. They've been so great to us and will continue to be great to us. I can only imagine.
I mean, they're great by offering this to our listeners. So take advantage. Again, it's promo code DREW, of course.
Okay, so now we're going into what's new with Drew, which is the meat of this episode.
So much. Okay, so let's talk about the MTV Movie and TV Awards. So as everybody knows by now, Drew ended up withdrawing from it because of the writer's strike, which was really cool. She definitely made a point of like, you know, she released a statement about it, and it seems like she kind of talked to the writers on her staff, and she gave them like props later on for something else. And so I think that was the right thing to do, even though it was a bummer.
Yeah, I was like not surprised by it, but I was also like, wait, they've done all of this stuff already, like all of this promotion. But thankfully, they still did release some stuff.
Yeah, so I feel like you should take this because I only watched each one once, but I'll jump in with some stuff here and there.
Okay, sounds great. So there were 3 different skits that were released. I'm assuming they were shown like on TV as like part of the awards, but I only saw them on like Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that. So I did notice, I'll just mention this, that the MTV Awards Twitter account has all of them in horizontal uncropped format, whereas I had originally only seen them in like vertical, you know, social media format.
Ooh, okay.
So go to Twitter if you want to see them in full. I think one of them was on Facebook, but inconsistent. So Twitter's got all of them if you go and then click media. Great. So now I'm going to say one thing and then I'm going to let you take over. So the first one that we're going to mention is Drew as Josie Grossi. And she's wearing the dress that you have a similar dress like. So can you talk about like the post that Matthew Kilgore made?
Okay. So Matthew Kilgore is Drew's tailor. He's the tailor for the Drew Barrymore Show. And he does a lot of stuff when she goes to events and stuff. He seems to just be her tailor.
Okay.
He seems really sweet. He always posts like really neat behind the scenes stuff on the show. And he's now following us, which is really fun. But so when he posted that he recreated the Josie dress, I sent him a little message just saying like, oh, hey, we have one of the screen used ones, because I'm sure there were more than one.
Yep.
If you ever need more detailed photos of it. And he was really excited about it. And he shared our pictures. And then he shared a bunch of really cool behind the scenes of him and Drew and the process of creating it. So that was really fun to see. It was really nice that he gave us a little shout out like that. Yeah, it was really exciting. Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, super cool. I was excited to see that.
We'll link to his Instagram account.
Very cool. I thought she looked this was hilarious, by the way. All of it was hilarious. You just have to watch it. Nothing that I can describe will do it justice. But I thought she looked so cute and like really young. Like they really did a good job at making her look young.
Can I just be like a little bit of a like, Debbie Downer, I guess? I felt like she wasn't like channeling Josie's mannerisms and voice though. Like
when she wasn't fully.
Yeah, when she did it on her show, it was like she was fully back in that character. But this time it sort of just felt like Drew.
Yeah,
looked
that's
like
true.
Josie.
That's true. I could kind of see that. You're right. She's not doing like the lisp so much.
And the like, kind of like awkward.
She seemed less nervous, but it was really cute. It
was still great though.
What they did with it is really fun. My favorite parts were probably the dance-offs with both Megan, the like robot horror, whatever, and then Wednesday, which she does that famous dance. So it was really fun. She's like, "You're really good. Are you on TikTok?"
I know.
And then my favorite part is the bear, the cocaine bear.
So wild.
I put some screenshots in our notes.
I know. Thank you for these. These are beautiful.
It's really good. So
it's good.
I won't go into it anymore. You all have to watch it. It's wonderful. Okay, so the next one is Wednesday focused. And in this one, they kind of parody Drew's own running out into the rain thing.
Yeah, I love this.
It's hilarious. And Wednesday seems like scared of her.
Did you watch the show? Because like
no.
Wednesday. Okay, so it like I could recognize what scene it was that they like put this in. So Wednesday's truly looking at like a monster in that part. That's not a spoiler. So instead it's Drew loving the rain, and then it becomes like lightning, right?
Yes.
And then hail.
First it becomes hail, and then Drew says,
"Oh, hurts so good. Never missed a chance to be pelted by tiny ice balls. Surprisingly hard."
Which really feels like she wrote that line.
That feels like a Drewism, even though it's a fake version of Drew.
Right.
Yeah, and then it does like lightning strikes, and she's like, "Oh, it feels so good," or she's like something. It's hilarious.
It's a really good parody of her like persona.
Yes. And then finally, and I don't know what order they were released, this is just what I wrote in the notes, is Drew as Barbie's little sister Skipper.
She looks so cute.
It's so cute. And she's like, it's kind of joking that she just like came to set dressed the way she's dressed and hoped that she could just be put in the film as Skipper.
It did a really good job like inserting her into like the screenshot you have here looks legit.
Yeah, it looks real. This one's also really cute. Once again, I can't really do it justice, but there's like I assume that in the film already there's like a bunch of like sexual innuendo because they kind of like talk about it, and then Skipper is like acting like she understands what is going on more than Barbie does, which is really funny. Yeah, I really liked it. Okay, so then one other thing that was part of the MTV like sort of thing that it seems like they still release since it was recorded.
Whatever they ended up showing. Yeah.
Yes. So they have an ad for Cheetos popcorn in which Drew is like sitting at her makeup desk and she's eating Cheetos popcorn and like reviewing her lines for the show, supposedly. And then someone comes up and says like, "You've got 1 minute until showtime." And it's just cute because one of the parts in the commercial, she like puts her hand on the shoulder of the person who's like telling her it's time, like the stagehand.
I want to thank you for everything that you've been doing today.
Thank you. 45 seconds.
And it really feels like Drew. And then like everything is just like her getting like cheesy hands everywhere. It's really silly.
You know what's so funny is I actually stumbled upon whoever that actor or actress was saying like it was like one of the best experiences of their life. So I bet you that really came through that encouragement.
Yeah, that's really cute. I bet Drew was really that way on set anyway. You know, like we know what she's like.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Drew was the recipient of an award, which is cool because she hasn't gotten one in quite a long time. And she won Best Host. So yay, Drew. And like I said, she does shout out the writers on the Drew Barrymore Show in her little acceptance speech that she recorded in her bathroom.
Yes. It was really cute. And
it was really
exciting
cute.
for Drew. I mean, we hope this is like a string of other awards that she'll get.
I mean, it seems to be all of a sudden the show is on fire. Like I'm reading so many articles lately, like pumping it up. So it's really fun.
Great. Yay, Drew. And crew.
Okay, so guess what? We have a new magazine cover.
Yes, and I just ordered a copy online.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing that, but I also I'm like, well, maybe they'll have it at Barnes and Noble, but I'll probably go and get mad. So I should probably just order it online.
I mean, it's $12.99, but the shipping's free through the through the Adweek website. So
okay. Yeah, so Adweek is the magazine, in case we should mention that. It's the May issue, and Drew's on the cover, like we said. So Drew was named the Creator Visionary of the Year by Adweek, which is really cool. And it kind of seems to be talking, we haven't seen the feature, just what they showed on their Instagram, but it kind of seems to be talking about like all of the ads that she's been doing, obviously Adweek for a variety, like her own brands, and then the other brands like Korn and Grove and all that.
Yep.
And they shared one of the inside photos is Drew in front of a wall in her office. It looks like they were planning for the next issue of Drew magazine. We'll have more on that in a second. I won't even talk about the cover because we'll get to that. But I did peek at, I can see those mac and cheese bath pictures that you had mentioned in a previous episode that I don't remember where that was talked about.
I don't remember
some
either.
article recently.
Yes, where they said like, am I going to be in a bathtub full of mac and cheese? Or like, doesn't everyone want to see a girl in mac and cheese? And everyone's like, yes, or I forget what it was.
And then there's also, I saw there's a full page of her from Bonnaroo in 2009 in one of her really fun 2009 looks. And then it looks like there's features on both Grove's products and Garnier's products. So a little sponsor stuff in there.
But I love, just kind of going back to Adweek, I love the Adweek cover. It looks really sweet.
Yeah, it's cute.
It feels like that, you know, she's wearing like a white suit, like she looks professional but fun.
It's very this season of the Drew Barrymore Show.
Totally.
Or this past one. I guess it's over now. Yeah, so that's exciting. I can't wait till we get our issues, and maybe we can share a little more information when we have the tangible copies in hand.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
Yes, and I'm guessing the new issue of Drew Mag will be out relatively soon.
It must be. So let's get into why we have more info on that. So the New York's Ralph Lauren, they put on a Mother's Day event at their coffee shop, and they had Dr. Eliza Pressman, who Drew works with all the time, and she's awesome.
Drew was on her podcast.
Yeah, Drew's been on her podcast. I've also just seen other stuff with her, like parenting advice.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's great. So Drew and her kind of hosted this event, and Drew wore jeans, which has been a thing that we've been tracking because she says she never wears them anymore.
Yep.
And then really different boots. Did you catch that? Like those are.
I did. I was like, what are these cowboy boots? Like,
they're only like half. Like they're not full. They're booties, but they look like cowboy boots, which is kind of like, whoa, that's. And
different. They look worn in the image. So I'm like, has she had them forever? Are they like vintage boots she got? But yeah, totally something new for her. I definitely clocked those. And
the jeans, that's so funny. It must be, I don't know, some photo shoot recently. She's wearing the same jeans. I noticed it. I didn't even write it down. But anyway, okay. So then to people, the attendees at this event, they gave out copies of the new Drew mag. So there were a couple pictures where we were able to spy it.
Yep.
So it's got a fun, like green themed cover. It's definitely a picture from the beautiful Drew chair photo shoot.
Aha.
Yeah.
Good call.
Same spot, same chair. She's barefoot and kicking her foot up. It's really cute. And it looks like it's called the Happy Place issue, which is fun.
Yeah, really fun.
Yay. Well, hopefully we see more on that soon. It looks like we've gotten enough little peeks, and now let's get the real thing.
Yeah. And I hope I don't have as hard of a time finding this issue as I had finding the previous one.
Well, you know what? It looks like now you can subscribe.
Oh,
so I think I went to look at it, and it was like buy the current issue and subscribe. And I didn't want to do that because I already have 2 copies of the current issue. So maybe when this one comes out, we can do that.
Good idea. I'm a little worried it'll get all scuffed up in the mail, but
that's true.
It is what it is. It's like I lately have decided I'm just buying two copies of everything anyway. Okay. So I'm back to that.
So fun.
All right. So I see that you made a note of the Spruce feature. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I'm not really familiar with this website, the Spruce, but they did a feature on the Drew Barrymore set, which was really fun. So they have some really great photos of the set and wonderful interview with Drew about it. We'll link to it. The main note that I made was this little tidbit. So it said that Drew enlarged a drawing that Fabrizio Moretti had given her. It was a drawing that he had made in college. And I think I spotted what it would be. It's sort of in the hallway of the show. It's not like super featured, but I got a good screenshot of it. So do you agree that's probably the one?
I agree, because it looks like illustration someone would do in a life drawing class.
Totally.
It like warms my heart that she.
I know.
Like I really hope that she like told him like, is it okay if I put that drawing up? You know, like,
or he just like sees it one day on TV.
I mean, he gave it to her so she can do with it what she wants. Yeah. But I think you're right that that's what it is. So I'm guessing. Do you think you'll put a picture up in the?
Yeah, we'll definitely put a photo.
Okay, cool. I love the style of the set, and I hope.
Me too.
I hope someday we get to sit in her velvety audience.
Oh, I know. Well, actually, I want to be in the VIP front section, but maybe we can just go put our butts on the velvety bleachers for a second.
We should be able to come early and leave late anyway, and just spend all the time we want.
There you go.
Right?
Perfect.
We are VIPs.
Yes, we are. Speaking of the show, did you watch Kate Bosworth on?
I did, and it was so lovely.
So for those of you who don't know, Kate is engaged to Drew's ex, Justin Long, and man, the maturity and just like beautifulness of this, I was so impressed by it.
It's seriously like life, love, and everything goals. Like
I know, truly, like. Can I be like this? I want to be like this.
Maturity is exactly the right word. Like, this is literally what I want. Like, this relationship with both my exes and my partner's exes. And I love that Kate was like saying that she was raised this way. And it's maturity is exactly the right word. It was beautiful. Like, there was so much love between them.
Yeah, I've never seen that much of her, and I was really impressed by her. I thought she was just lovely.
Me too. I mean, I figured she had to be.
Right.
Like, I think for a while I was like, I hope that she has some of the depth and hilarity and love that Drew had with Justin. Like,
it seems like they do.
But absolutely. Like, now I'm like, yes. And Justin's so great. And like, just kind of like thinking back to the episode when he was on, which they talk about a bit, like just so much, like so much love. Like, I was just like the whole time, like holding my hand to my chest, like, yes.
I relate.
Yep.
Okay, we have one last thing I think to get into, and this was like a blink and you miss it because it was just a really quick thing on the Drew Barrymore Show, but I thought it was so fascinating.
Yeah.
So they did a little thing with Ancestry DNA and both Drew and Ross, and then they had a woman from Ancestry come on and tell them some of the things that they were able to find out through the results, and there was some stuff that was new information to Drew, and it was so cool. So they said that Drew's family, and this would be her paternal family, they were able to trace them back to a place in Ireland that had been a place for refugees, and it was nicknamed Rebel City. And Drew like almost burst into tears when she heard that.
Yes, I loved that because she was just like, does it feel like life affirming? Like, she's just like, so it was so cool.
So cool. And then they also found this article, and I don't think I never heard of this part of her family. This was her great grandmother, Eliza Trotner Kinloch, born in 1796, long time ago. And she was Louisa Lane, Drew's mom.
Yep.
And at the time of this article, she was the oldest actress in the world at age 91. And you wrote in Philadelphia. Thank you for including that.
And I thought that was so cool. And Drew once again was like, what?
Yeah. I don't
so
think,
good.
I feel like they always talk about her lineage starting with Louisa Lane, but clearly it went back even further in the acting.
Yeah.
So cool.
I just wanted to say I love this so much. I've been using Ancestry for like more than 20 years with my mom, and I'm now an archivist, so I obsess over like records being preserved. And so I'm just like, love that they were showing that. And then they also showed Ross's, like, he was like accidentally had a namesake, basically. Like, it was really cute, but they showed like a draft card of his, like, somebody whose middle name was Ross, and I was just like,
love some ephemera, and I.
Ephemera, exactly. So my life as an archivist is basically because of my love for ephemera and
it makes
history.
sense.
Like, it's so cool. So I loved that little thing. I'm glad that you pulled it out, and it's really fun to see these little like Drew's history, you know, even though like she is who she is without even knowing that, which is so incredible. Like, it just shows how much is like can literally
nature
be in your
versus
blood.
Nurture.
So cool.
Okay, that's it. We did it. We've caught up on everything, and we are working on a really special episode for next week, which is why this one we decided to make a Drewsflash mini episode, because we got a biggie coming your way.
Yes, and we may have some little special guests for the next episode, friends of ours. So keep an eye out for that, which should be coming out the following Drew's Day. Thanks for sticking around and coming back for us. We appreciate you so much, and we can't wait to share with you what we're working on. And Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Go ahead and rate, review, subscribe. Remember those things we keep asking you to do. We haven't gotten a new review on Apple Podcasts in a while. We'd love to see it. And then follow us on Instagram at How Do You Drew Pod. And then, of course, our Drewsm account. It's just at Drewsm. Lots of Drew content there.
Yes. And also make sure you visit our website at howdoyoudrew.com. Check out the episode page that we'll do for this episode and all the previous ones. There's so much work that goes into it. It's really lovely. And it's hosted on our website, drewsm.com, which, we're very proud of too. Send listener mail to howdoyoudrewpod@gmail.com. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you so much for coming back.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. This episode of the How Do You Drew podcast was researched and produced by Ashley and Ann from the Drewsm.com with help from our sponsor, Positive Medium.
Special thanks to Matt Costa for our lovely theme song, Roxy Prima for our adorable logo, and last but not least, Drew Barrymore and all the Drewbies who love her. We do this for you.
Thank you.